Hello Frugal Fans, this is the Frugal Gamer, and instead of reviewing my stash to save you cash, today I'm going to be giving a Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Tips Part 2 video, which is the second video installment of my Tips series. Now, this one I'm focusing on more intermediate tips, where the last one was beginner tips. First tip I have to say is have your gun ready whenever moving around a corner. Be prepared to shoot. Always assume somebody's there. Now notice here, even though I have a gun, this is good for a hip-fire gun, but if I do zoom around the corner and I know somebody's there, I have a strong sense, I'll have my gun actually up in sight, ready to go. See, this is a good hip-fire gun. Now next, don't run too much in the game. A lot of people tend to like to sprint in the game, and that's going to cause you a lot of death. It takes you longer to stop and pull up your gun. Now granted, at the very beginning of a match, if you need to sprint to somewhere real quick to try to hold off the other team, that's a different story, but otherwise, just don't run too much. The game does inspire fast-paced movements, but I find if you run too much, you'll just end up getting shot, because you die very quick, not quite as quick as you did Ghost, but you do quick enough. So just be extra prepared. Next one, in a lot of other Call of Duty games, like the toughness type of perks that kept you from flinching were, in my opinion, a clutch perk. It'll help you win a gunfight if you didn't get the first shot in or when they hit you back. In this game, I don't feel that it is much of a clutch perk. You don't bounce around as much, and the blood that you see on the screen when you get hit really doesn't get in the way as much. So it's a good perk, don't get me wrong, but it's no longer a 100% necessary clutch perk, so you can use that space to use something else that you might find more useful. The next one is don't forget to use your environment for cover. I'm not saying camp, but I'm saying use things to cover and hide behind while you're in a shootout, so you don't run right out in the open, because running out in the open will get you killed because somebody else will hit you from another angle, clearly. So use your cover, the sides, edges of buildings, like here, there, that trash can's covering me a little bit. I can always back up, and I know if I need to, I can do that. Alright, so now the next one I would like to mention is use a good headset. I cannot stress that enough, and I'm going to do a couple reviews on headsets as well. They'll allow you to hear your surroundings. I recommend strongly one that has good surround sound. For example, on the PlayStation 3, I was using the Sony's particular ones that they made, a wireless stereo headset with virtual surround sound, and I thought at the time they were good. But then I moved to a set of PX4s by Turtle Beach, and it was amazingly different. I could really truly hear if somebody was coming behind me or where they were by just sound alone. Notice there on the video, by the way, I used my own care drop, my supply drop there, my care package, as a way to keep cover to get it. So as I said, good headphones, they'll really allow you to hear where the enemy is. I didn't realize how important that was when I first started. I thought my headphones were quite good. When I put these on, it made a world of difference. So I strongly suggest that. They can be quite expensive and be in the $100 range and higher, so I would strongly suggest checking out a lot of reviews, but I will be doing a review on the PX4s probably as well as other pairs. Another one is stay on the outside of the map if all possible. Now granted, sometimes you need to run through the middle for something or do a dash, but I would stay away from the middle as much as possible. If you circle around the outsides, there's less angles to be hit by, so I strongly suggest that. It'll help keep you alive. Alright, the next thing I would like to mention is always survey your area to be sure it's safe before you reload your gun. I found it when I was earlier in starting playing, I'd sometimes resort back to this behavior and I catch myself. You'll shoot a person and instantly reload your gun afterwards. Don't do that. After you shoot your gun, usually there will be somebody following around close by, especially if you have gun runners that like to run shotgun. They usually like to follow people, so they'll let the other players be cannon fodder, and then they expect you to probably be changing your mag, and then they just run up and shoot you. So make sure it's safe first. Like here I'm in cover, so I'm always in cover when I change mags. I'll hide behind something, squat down, use my exo cloak ability. See here, I got some cover. Now be warned, you will get some jerks that will yell camper or something because you just happen to be changing your mag, and boom, they run across, and then you shoot them. They'll claim camper. They're just idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. I've often told them, hey, you know what? I'm recording this. Let me send it to you. You got to be a little more careful before yelling out camper. It's just good practice. In the battlefield, would you change your mag right out in the open? No, you get cover. So, if you do find yourself, though, that you need to reload in a firefight, Don't forget you can double tap on this game and you'll lose the ammo that's in your mags. If you had 1 or 2 bullets, you'll lose those bullets, but you will change mags quicker. It's very helpful, and I think it really reduces any need to use the sleight of hand type of perk, because you don't need faster reloads because you have that option, especially if you're running scavenger. You can afford to lose a few bullets here and there, or if you're using a gun that prints ammo. I should have probably mentioned this in the beginner video, but I'll mention it now. If when I mentioned try out many guns, don't forget the firing range. This game has a firing range where you can test guns there to see how many shots it takes to kill and practice with them. Strongly suggest using that. Now, if you do like to run with SMGs, and a lot of people are complaining on this game that the SMGs are underpowered, I don't necessarily think so. I just think that you need to be more careful on how you use them. I found many SMGs are very useful. But what my tip is with that is if you're going to use SMGs a lot and like to play run and gun, don't forget to use a laser sight. That'll help tighten up your hip fire and really increase the potential for you winning those close quarter gun matches. Now, the last little tip I want to mention is don't trust people who you do not know on this game to watch your back. When you're playing in teams, they'll run off on you and you'll get shot in the butt. So if you're going to be playing it, I would strongly suggest trying to find team members that you've played with several times that you know you can work together. Because if you're shooting and all of a sudden you know a guy's coming behind you, but there's a guy there, and you trust him to cover your back, it doesn't always happen. I've had team members all of a sudden run off to go hide in a corner, so they wait for you to get shot, so then they could get an easy kill. That's just crappy teamwork. It doesn't make any sense. You're not going to win the games unless you work as a team very well, but they don't care about that. All they care about is their own personal KD. Alright, so that was video 2. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and don't forget, keep it frugal until the next video. Have a good time.